All right, folks. So, unfortunately for these two very talented players, it has been a very tough road so far. They both got promoted up from Platinum League, and they have been thrown into the group of death. I mean, let's just be real. You look at the group, and from the very start, you're like, oof. Because you got Hera in there, Hart in there, Vinchester, and Yo. And so Ciskhan is 0-6, and then Lucho is 1-5. Which means that whoever loses this series is going to have a very tough road getting out of the hole. Bottom two in the group are relegated back down to gold. But let's not forget, Mr. Yo hasn't done so well this season. I think Lucho gets to play Mr. Yo yet. So if Lucho were to win this series, maybe, and then end up beating Mr. Yo, I think many of you guys would consider that a surprise, but I think Lucho's playstyle was good there. He could turn it around pretty quick. But the wins need to come now. This would be a good test of their level, at least against someone who's not debatably in the top 10. And we have Lucho playing as the Italians, and then we have Ciskhan playing as the Dravidians. Town Center will go up at around the same time, and yeah, we're chilling here. Ducks with the announcement in chat. All good, Ducks. What do you guys think? Honest thoughts, new water meta, when it comes to the hybrid map specifically? What we've seen on High Tides and, well, I guess you could count Coast Arena and Stranded. Do you like it? Hate it? Is the jury still out? Are you still on the fence? You're not sure? Not enough junk. You want more junk? All right. Stashfo says it's the same but different. All right. Sergeant says it's better. I think the way I view AoE is I really like when there's diversity of options and how you play in a game. And I kind of feel like in many other ways of balance, they've been working away from that. So they've been like making it so you always have to do one or two different things. And if you don't do that one or two thing, you're going to lose, right? I feel like the water is pretty good as far as that's concerned. I don't know how the whole triangle is going to play out, of course, on more water dominant maps. But I really like how you now have some counterplay with the garrison, right? Like there's an obvious pro and con to that. You garrison, you save your fish for the future. But then, you know, your fishing ships then aren't working. So I kind of like the gameplay elements. I think if I were to say so far, I think I've been pleasantly surprised with it. So I was really concerned that hybrid maps would be ruined, especially mid-tournament. I thought that all these maps, which are typically very good and very entertaining, would not be. But if anything, I think it's added to it. So what we'll end up seeing, though, is you now have the potential to be a bit greedier than you did in the past, because you can garrison those fishing ships. We might see players go up to 10 or 12 fishing ships and still go for a relatively low Navy approach. The Lucho, it's cheaper for him to go up to the next stage. I did want to show you guys the draft, actually. I didn't show the full draft here, but in terms of the draft priority, the Lucho's gone for his third pick, and we have the first pick here for Ciskhan. I think it's an even matchup. Both civilizations have good land opportunity and good water opportunity. So, T90, would you ever consider Force Nothing for a tournament map? Yes, but not for this tournament. Not for this tournament. I think if I were to have Force Nothing as a map, the players would probably riot. I would not like that. And as funny as it might be for the first week, it also obviously wouldn't be a very competitive map, so it wouldn't really fit a high-level Age of Empires 2 tournament. But people have wanted me to do a nothing map tournament for years. So as long as people know what they're signing up for, as long as it's well advertised, that there's no one's being deceived, I think it'd be kind of fun. So Intramind says it'd be fun to see T90 play a full 3-game round with Dave casting. Well, if you want to see 3 games of Dave casting me, you should go to his YouTube channel and you should look up T90 Official versus Nilly. Return of Reverse Pick. Go ahead, watch that one. I will find myself going back to rewatch that one from time to time. I am going to play in the community tournament. We're doing a community cup. We'll have an upper league as well as all the mid and lower leagues. So if you want to watch that, or you want to play in that, keep an eye out for the community Discord on the TTLC commands. Maybe Dave will do some casting. I'm actually hoping to get Dave to sign up for that. I want to cast Dave in a tournament. That hasn't happened. Actually, no, I think it happened one time. I covered one of his games, or one of his sets. He was actually up against Lucho here in the sudden death tournament. All right, so Barracks is coming up for Lucho. 2 vills on gold. 1 dock for now. Could still be 2. We have 2 docks for Ciskhan. 8 fishing ships and adding 2 more. So, from my perspective, being a bit greedier on the water approach, but he is delaying his barracks. I love Dravidians on this map. I think they're top 3 civ. The additional carry capacity on the fishing ships, the population space from the docks, and then the additional wood you get is just so sick. Because typically, if you do exactly what he's doing right now, you wouldn't be able to get a barracks and get an archer range if you also wanted that. But it's still very realistic to still build the barracks and then get the additional wood for the archer range. I even like this from Ciskhan. Eventually, you want as much food as possible underneath that town center. So he'll bring in an elephant long distance and still have the water buffalo. Lucho goes for the archer range. He is going to hulk it up a little bit. Has the Hawk production from 1 dock. And he'll loop around with the Hawk. Here's the new ship. Looking hulky. A spearman scouting around to find exactly where Ciskhan's located. And he will find the town center and actually denied the blacksmith a little bit. But the blacksmith is interesting. You see the blacksmith, you're like, what's the play here? Resources for Ciskhan make it seem like he might consider a fast castle here. He doesn't have a lot of wood spend, but he does have enough to make 2 hawks, which is probably just enough to protect his fish. What a build order, man. My God, he's up already. That is perfect. The thing is, too, it's not like he can't produce navy. It's not like he can't defend on land with a skirmisher or 2. Ciskhan was ahead in every single game against Winchester. I felt so bad for him. He could have won that series 2-1 or 3-0, but he just lacks the experience. Winchester was able to defend pretty nicely there. But yeah, I think Ciskhan is in a nice position. I actually think what he should aim to do here, though, I think once he gets attacked here, you just need to come home with these hawks. When you're playing fast castle, you need to be defensive. And yeah, there he garrisons. So again, guys, new patch. The arrows will fire from the dock against ships that are not directly next to the dock because the dock has minimum range. So you can protect them. And then you can send them back to work. This wouldn't have been possible before, so it allows for some creative play. Archers are through the middle from Lucho. Lucho still hasn't killed anything yet, but he'll aim for the fishing ship kills, and he does kill the fishing ship. I think Lucho should be able to defend himself from the Hawks coming forward from Ciskhan. Ciskhan's resources are really at the limit right now. He won't have a lot of food, but he will get the wood boost. He still has to keep his fishing ships working on some deep fish. They're all on shore fish for now, which isn't great. And he snipes the fishing ship of his own. He'll go for another snipe. Garrison comes in at the last second there for Lucho. And I guess Ciskhan is just going to play full land. I think he's just diving to snipe fish, and then he's going to call it a day on water. It seems pretty clear. Snipes 2. Does have his own Hawk here. It falls back towards the dock. Nice little arrow garrison there. And nice defense. This will definitely be full army on land for Lucho. Or rather for Ciskhan. But he can't get crossbowmen yet. I think they both trade their Hawks there. Bodkin arrow's on the way for Ciskhan. He loses a villager. Tim, it's really hard for me to predict Doubt vs. Sorokuma. Doubt vs. Sorokuma Gold League is going to be insane this upcoming week. It could be winner ends up getting to Platinum. But also there's the factor in that group that Capwatch could end up getting into Platinum as well if he 3-0s and Doubt and Sorokuma go 2-1. So Ciskhan taking the risk to get to Castle Age. Kept his fish alive with the garrisons. Has Bodkin, but he doesn't have crossbow yet. Okay, now he does. He drops the second town center. He clearly wanted a siege workshop in the middle. Lucho is kind of forever feudal, but Lucho can eventually win water. He has so many Hawks. He's still holding the hill. The hill is super valuable right now. So far, I think Ciskhan's approach has more potential. But every single unit needs to be microed perfectly here. This is relying on the fishing ships being saved inside the docks and the crossbows never going down. And Lucho will clear up the crossbows here. I think Ciskhan's just a little distracted. There's so little military for him and so little navy. He really wants siege. Dravidians have cheap siege. He wants crossbow and siege through the middle. And again, Lucho's back. The only thing with the water that I'm still a little bit uncertain on is demos. But guys, I think they really didn't want demos to be as strong as they were, because then water would be way too defensive. If you could just hop out with a demo right now and justify it, then like you could play full garrison on docks all the time with no downsides. So I think that was the logic from the devs. I asked chat about what they thought about the demo change yesterday. People weren't really a fan. But the more I watch it, the more I understand it. I mean, the fishing ships aren't exactly working for Ciskhan, but the crossbows will dive against the skirms. The crossbows can kill this off. The siege workshop can complete. Ciskhan is on 2 town centers. And Ciskhan will have the hill. Ciskhan, I guess he's been... Is it fair to say he's been defeated so far this season? Because he has no wins? You say someone's undefeated if they have no losses, but he has played really well. And just from what I know of the players, I think the mentality for Lucho can get kind of shaky if the first game doesn't go his way. And I think for Ciskhan, he should also recognize that a little bit. Ciskhan's fishing ships still hoping to get some value. Lucho still looking around for them. Crossbows need to move this way for Ciskhan, and if he does, the tower for Lucho will be denied. Lucho is just desperate to get to Castle Age right now. That one villager down. The villagers pull away, and now we have siege on the archer range. Man, Ciskhan has been so sneaky with the fish. He goes for another dock, sends the fishing ships over there. Even getting ballistics now. Lucho's like, I didn't kill those fishing ships. Where are they? He'll find them over here. Nice find. Like, basically, eventually Lucho will have the better economy because he has fish. Assuming he ends up winning water. And the army count for Ciskhan is still really low. Nice find for Lucho. In the end, Lucho will clear it up, get back on stone. And he's located where the fishing ships are. I don't love where Ciskhan has positioned his siege. I feel like you should always position it from the top of the hill here. But he wants to pressure the archer range, so it does kind of make sense from that point of view. Wonder if Ciskhan will eventually make more navy here, because he just continues to hop in and out of the docks. And I don't know if the arrow fire... I guess the docks are kind of affected by ballistics here, which I didn't think about before. A lot of the Hawks are pretty weak. 3rd town center for Ciskhan. Damn. If Ciskhan wins 3-0, will he avoid relegation? I think both players still have good chances to avoid relegation if they get wins in their final sets here. Like, it's the 3rd round of 5. So there's 9 potential wins. Obviously, do you favor them to get wins against some of the names out there? Maybe no. But I think Lucho, for example, is a really good stylistic matchup against Mr. Yo. I think Mr. Yo he's going to have confidence there and all that, but... Man, what a close game. 61 population for both. We've had a completely different approach. Ciskhan has ignored water as much as possible, but he's gone for the land. He's played into fast ballistics with the crossbowmen. Lots of army numbers. Probably will need lots of siege. Has the eco lead. But finally, and it took a long time here, Lucho ends up making it to Castle Age as well. And Ciskhan needs to build up towards that snowball. Again, they're both good crossbow players, both big micro players. Another mangonels on the way for Ciskhan. Ciskhan will move in. Can snipe the villagers on the archer range. Still running away here. And Lucho doesn't have ballistics yet. I think the annoying thing for Lucho is that he still hasn't won water. He still hasn't cleared out all the fish. The fish have still actually been something he has to focus on. But the crossbow count is pretty even right now. I think now that the range is gone, maybe just move to this hill, Ciskhan. Because if you move in this way, your opponent always has the hill advantage in all the attacks. Moving over to this side is the key. He went this direction because the archery range was there. Farms are up for Ciskhan. He's also placed mills on some of the deer around the map. Taken some sheep. And yep, now he finds Lucho here. Lucho should clear water now. Micro from Ciskhan. Oh, dude. Micro. Can he take it? There's no ballistics for Lucho. Oof, nice hold from Lucho. Nice repair. I think Lucho is really scattered right now mentally. He's been under a lot of pressure this game. He's had to work really hard. But he stayed consistent with it. And soon we'll maybe have the water control. They both have the hill right now. From what we know, Ciskhan just has to hold. But Ciskhan doesn't have fish. And also, I think the amount on food for Ciskhan is a little deceiving. Because a lot of those are just vills on the shoreline. Ooh, Lucho maybe going for a counterattack. He's left the hill. He's moving this way. Ciskhan will find the mangonel. Nice attack round from one player. Good micro from both. They're both microing in different areas right now. Look at the amount of movement and the amount of armies they have to look at. Ciskhan will dive the mangonel, stay in minimum range. But Lucho lands a nice shot. Now Lucho gets hit and Lucho micros away. Ciskhan micros. Oh my god, Lucho micros? Damn. I mean, this is so close. That was a lot of micro right there, guys. That's 3 mangonels needing to move and their group of crossbows. And we still only had a couple kills. They still can't forget about their economies, though. Second town center now for Lucho. Clock is ticking as far as the eco is concerned for him. But I like the town center position a lot. It gives him the wood. It gives him the gold. It still feels like Ciskhan is the one who's ahead in this game. I can't help but just remember. I actually feel really bad saying it, but it's my job. He was ahead in every single game against Finch, right? It's like... And he felt like he maybe threw those games. Maybe it's a weak point for him when he gets the lead and right before the Imperial Age, some of the positional things you need. Maybe the tech switches. The micro is clearly very good right now. They'll trade 1 for 1. Lucho's a little fortunate to get out of there. And Lucho will now think about adding more fishing ships. I see more docks now. Finally taking down the dock and taking down the fishing ships from Ciskhan. But this is intense stuff right now. It could come down to one big fight. Also could come down to a castle now. Ciskhan is on stone. Not easy to find on the map, but he's on 2 different stone areas. Mangonel on the hill. Oh, nice shot from Lucho. Got the attack rounds. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, because normally that'd be a direct hit and a kill, but he was firing uphill. Little counterattack from Ciskhan. Little counterattack from Lucho. Ciskhan senses something's up. And he'll find them. I think also Lucho has caught a glimpse of this. And we'll try and defend from this right here. Micro's needed for Ciskhan. He gets rocked. Lucho sees he's spotted there. Gets the attack round. And the splits! That is a difficult split to do. He just split mangonels. But now the crossbows from Ciskhan are in the back. Let's see if Ciskhan can keep the micro moving here. Oof! He's under a lot of pressure. Micro has been insane from these two. This is why they're here, guys. This is why they're here. Clearly very talented, just in a group of killers. And now Ciskhan's running away with the other army. Still paying very close attention. The micro's insane. The micro's insane. He won't lose the mangonel either because this micro's insane. Beautiful job from Ciskhan. That is 5 crossbows against 2 mangonels. Still backing away with this army. Still building up towards a castle. Still with the 20 eco lead. And Lucho trying to micro those crossbowmen, but he needs a counterattack. He does have this, so it could maybe get through. But I think for Ciskhan, he just needs a castle in the middle. I don't think you need the forward castle. But it would be a very... Margugu and Sato, if you were here, you'd probably be okay with me saying this. But it would be a very French AoE2 player thing to go for the YOLO castle. Margugu, Sato, Ciskhan, they all love their forward castles. But I really think that they should just chill. Play it safe. Use your eco lead. He'll have the castle in the middle wood. He'll have the relics, and he is on the way to Imp. Lucho's going to try the same thing. But... crossbow count, higher for Ciskhan. Eco count, higher for Ciskhan. Castle already up for Ciskhan. There will never be a castle for Lucho. Micro there for Lucho's top tier. But then the attack round from Ciskhan lands perfectly. I could see this being extremely problematic for Lucho. The thing is as well, is that Ciskhan is going to come back on water now. So it's not like the 11 fishing ships are even going to be a massive benefit if he does that. I love the amount of outposts from Ciskhan, too. He's going to get every relic? Like, how did he get away with all those relics? It's insane. And with the new water triangle, what should counter the Hawks is galleys. And so galleys are on the way, which feel like a nice choice when you already have Bodcanero. And when you already have ballistics. Obviously, Lucho could then go into fires. I still think going primarily land is the key, but taking water control can still be a big factor on the map. Gotta love what we're seeing from Ciskhan here, guys. He's being patient with it, too. If you end up getting enough of them, then it gets really tough for Lucho to stabilize on water. Ooh. Yeah. Big shots, potentially. Lucho holding the hill. And another mangonel goes down, but he sees a castle. And now you're like, damn, how do I ever move out to these wood lines? The wood lines that he's all taking are very close to the shoreline. And now Imp is in for Ciskhan as well. Bracer on the way for Ciskhan. Chemistry has to come in as well. Bombard cannons are going to be key. 1-for-1 trade with the mangonels. But here come the war galleys. They won't kill the fish right away. So that's kind of nice for Lucho. But I think just having them out there could kill villagers. And it just adds another thing that Lucho really has to focus on. Yeah, micro will be needed here. Bracer's already in for Ciskhan. Lucho's taking the fight anyways. Italians, I'd say, are the better archership, but Dravidians have the skirms for later. And Lucho taps out. I think he saw the war galleys. He knows he's really far behind. The Ciskhan gets his first win of Titans League Season 5, guys. Damn. That was very clean. Again, he showed against Winchester that he has all the talent in the world to get the first 75% of the game right. And in this game, he actually found the final 25%. He takes game number 1. And chat in his honor dropping the 34 RFG percentage. I don't know what more I can say. The fast castle was really clean. Lucho couldn't do enough damage on the water. It took Lucho so long to ever snipe the fishing ships, and the town centers were up really fast from Ciskhan. So, I hope I'm wrong on this, but from Lucho's perspective, at times, he can let a loss get to him. So, hopefully, he'll have a quick turnaround. His home map is Zimbabwe, which I wouldn't have really expected for the series. But he does have Spanish on the draft. Spanish, Turks, Portuguese. Crazy picks. And then Ciskhan's got Vietnamese, Mongols, Lithuanians, and Malay for potential game number 2. I do just want to show you one more time. Just get back into this game. Just how controlled this was for Ciskhan. The KD was even. But he had a really nice wood and food economy. Gold count was close. But it's that farm transition. Very often on these water maps, the fishing economy is a significant reason why people win. Switching into the farms was really smooth. All right, guys, welcome. Game number 2, live standings. 1 win for Lucho in the season, 1 win for Ciskhan. We said coming into it, if you win the season, Or win the season, my God. If you win the series, you still have a chance at survival. And maybe a slight chance at playoffs, but I would say survival should be the goal. And Ciskhan has started off with the one victory. He looked very smooth, very calm. But we're on a map where some players go crazy for the hunt in the early game, and then some players do not. I think Ciskhan has played more Black Forest games. Like, Lucho isn't a player who I see play a lot of Black Forest team games. Like, honestly, it comes down to that. People who play a lot of Black Forest and can do all the quick wall shenanigans typically are going to take the risk to come out here. Very early on, Ciskhan brought his scout for the Rhino and was maybe hoping to see if Lucho would make a move for it. But Lucho just deleted a hole in his wall. He's found the zebra in the back, and he's going to push this in. Here comes Ciskhan. So, I mean, this area is the early game. And then the north of the map is the late game with the stone and the golds. But how many is Ciskhan going to go for? He sees 3. It's a little awkward, though, because of the wood lines. You'd have to double back. Yeah, it's tough to get to that one. I think getting 2 is fine. He did get Loom, which puts him down a Vil, but I think it's okay. Yeah, that's 800 food. You don't lose the villager. You could argue it's worth it without Loom. I've seen a player get 5 without Loom before and actually made it happen in Gold League. It's one of the craziest things we've seen on the map so far. But yeah, that's nice. Can't complain about that. And meanwhile, Lucho just doesn't really seem to care. And I think there's an argument for all these approaches too. And also just leave that elephant. You can let the elephant go back. It'll just stay next to the gate now. So it should be fine. Ciskhan's here, and Ciskhan's like, yo, bro, what are you doing? You just not going to take your Rhino or what? Like, and yeah, Lucho doesn't care. Lucho's thinking he already has 2 boars in his base. He has the berries. He has the water buffalo, and villagers are more efficient if you're not walking around the map like that. So, yeah, he's not interested at all. JTK, thank you for the kind words. This T90 resending this because everyone just booed that it got glossed over. Just wanted to say thanks for this. We are forward deployed in one of the worst parts of the planet. This is giving us endless nonsense to argue about. You made us some new fans of the game, and thank you, man. Oh, dude, be safe, and hey, thank you for the kind words. Chat, tell me where you're watching from right now. That's what's so cool about this, right? There's so much BS. Like, I love and I hate the internet simultaneously, and I love and I hate video games simultaneously. There's so much annoying things about life, right? You know, work and life, and you guys know, everyone's got their own issues, but we're here from all over the world. There'll probably be someone saying they're watching from the moon. That happens every time. Someone said they're watching from their mom's basement, which wasn't exactly what I meant. But, you know, I don't know many people in my day-to-day life that actually like Age of Empires 2, but, you know, cool to be connected and have people from all over the world watch. So I do not take it for granted, guys. This is super cool. I love it. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm very lucky to continue to do it. The event's a lot of energy, a lot of effort. There's been a lot of stress this season behind the scenes. And, you know, it just keeps coming back to, well, the support from the fans has been awesome, but also majority of the players have really taken it seriously, really respected the event, and have really given their all for it. So this elephant has kind of wandered to the corner. I wonder if Ciskhan thinks it went back. Do you think he sees that? It's kind of hiding right now. Do you guys know that meme format of the elephant poking its head through the wall? For whatever reason, that's what this made me think of. Maybe the memers can toss something into meme chat, but that elephant's just hiding. I think Ciskhan thought it went back somehow. Ciskhan will come over for another one, and he might as well get 2 while he's at it. Here comes Lucho now. Lucho wants to, I guess he just delayed this. So he might get 2 as well. And he has never scouted this, so he can't do anything about Ciskhan. But yeah, that elephant is still there. You know what's wild? When the gate opens, the elephant might actually start walking back home because there's a path for it to get home. Let's see. Gate will open. No. Never mind. That's his new home now. So... that's kind of a big deal, right? Like, you go to the middle to get the elephants, and then you don't get it. It does look kind of questionable, but I guess he's just not paying attention to it. We have Lucho playing as the Spanish. Apparently, the Spanish win rate is one of the highest win rates in all of Titans League. Now, I'm taking one person in chat's word for it, and I did not verify this information, so there's a risk in that, but obviously the play rate's not as high, but apparently the win rate for Spanish is crazy high. You could check the Titans League site if you want to verify that data. But what's the plan here for Ciskhan to try and deal with conquistadors? Does he open cav archers? Does he open skirms? Does he just try and boom? Ciskhan! The elephant is right there, dude! It's right there! It's behind the walls! He doesn't see it! Also, there's a crocodile there, which you don't exactly want to deal with. Oh, God, and there's a crocodile. We always put crocodiles on the sides of this little river. There's always two. Oh, God. Can he weave his way through the crocs? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, well, if you do this, you're still okay, I think. Wait, can Lucho? Lucho can see the elephant. Lucho can see the elephant. That's so funny. Okay, does Lucho see this, though? He did have a scout around. And now if he looks over here, he could see the rhino in the fog. Sometimes the crocodile chasing actually helps, because it will block the rhino. Yeah, crocodile might block the rhino a little bit. Villager's gonna come on in. And it looks pretty ridiculous, but this is competitive AoE, folks. Very serious business on this channel. Crocodile dies, rhino dies, and more food there for Ciskhan. All right. And then the scout came back around for Lucho. Man, he shouldn't ping it. He shouldn't say something, but I would be super tempted to point that elephant out. Honestly, even with the stakes, I don't think I would be able to help myself. Because I would know viewers were watching. I would be signaling that right now and laughing, but that would be a silly move. Ciskhan still has the food, and Ciskhan is oh my God, Ciskhan is missing the scouting of the villagers that have left the gate for Lucho. Lucho is running this direction to drop a castle, and with the castle drops we've seen, I think some of the most successful castle drops have always come from this angle, because that blocks off all the stone and gold for the long term. And I just don't think Ciskhan is going to have an answer for this. I think Ciskhan wants to boom. He wants to drop town centers. But yeah, good luck, buddy. Castle on your face from the Spanish, 14 minutes in. I mean, best of luck. He immediately, okay, changes his game plan. He found the elephant. Let's go. He's changing his game plan. He will drop house walls to give himself time. He will go to stone. This could be guard tower defense. It also could be for a castle eventually. But castle is up. Also, someone named 34RFZG donated $34 with just a character. Just an exclamation point. So, again, apparently this individual cannot actually speak words or you know, whatever, but thank you very much for the donation. I doubt that's the same user, but I don't know what's happening today. So thank you. Exclamation point in chat as the thank you, I guess. The nice thing now is that you haven't had to seed a farm because you had all the food. So you're kind of chilling as far as that's concerned. And he did get the stone mining upgrade. I think you have enough time to maybe plan on your own defensive castle. For Lucho, he didn't get as much food underneath the TC, which he might be regretting now. He doesn't have food income for many conquistadors, so he really might need the siege more than anything else. The first 3 conquistadors can do enough. And then after that, you're hoping for the mangonels to take down the town centers. I like the choice from Ciskhan. If you go 3 town centers, you're completely dead. Probably needs to pull the villagers, though. And then once the siege is here, you need to get this castle as quickly as possible. This could get really dangerous. I think you place it almost touching your town center. And you place it right now. I would buy the stone. You've got to place it right now. You can't let these conks through. If you place it here, it doesn't get denied. Ooh. See, I'm not in love with that because it doesn't protect your TC. But this is the area getting pushed. Oh, the conquistadors are just so good. And you don't need any upgrades for them to be good, right? Rats and archers will need some upgrades, but I guess Ciskhan's doing what he can to protect his gold. Castle will go up. Nice micro with the villager there. She's crazy. But now Lucho can just pressure the town center. And now Lucho just takes out these houses, and then he could just pressure the TC. But I guess Ciskhan could go full micro mode now. If he can get Bodkin and get a lot of rats and archers are a pretty good unit here. Yeah, guys, with the way AoE works, if we ever do Rex, so we basically get the file from the player, whatever their game version is in, we're going to get their language. And then when we ever do Rex for tournaments, it's always, sometimes it's a mix of the Rex, so we might get one from one player, one from another, or we just end up asking one player. So if you saw the very French age up sign, that's just how the game works. Progresse vers age des chateaux. Not sure how my French sounds, but that explains that there. The other day, we had, like, a mix of English and Spanish, and it was because of the players we had. I mean, oftentimes it comes down to clearing up the conquistadors once. Rats and archers will have Bodkin. And Ciskhan is going to have to show some patience here, but I'm not sure his economy is necessarily that much better. Typically, 2 TCs implies that. But his farming eco is here. And here comes the Ciskhan micro. He goes into the TC with the Ratens. He hops out to go for the Mangonel. Actually, he takes the Conk first. He misfires a little bit. Can he get the Mangonel? That would be nice to keep the town center up. And Ciskhan with the plays. Oh, God. Okay, that hurts. But he does save 4 of them. And Mangonels are expensive, and he can make more Rats and Archers. It feels like maybe Lucho could consider a second town center, but what Lucho didn't do is he never took the wood on the back, which is a bigger wood line. Adds to a lot more long-term efficiency. And he wasn't able to break the town center from Ciskhan, who's just able to relax under this pressure. If he placed the castle that I said originally, I think it would have been too risky. For him, he's got very safe economy. Both town centers are actually protected. Yeah, because I guess if he places the castle I wanted, you protect the main TC, but lose the back TC. Maybe lose the gold. Another Conquistador goes down. And another Mangonel appears. More Rats and Archers massacred from Ciskhan. Guys, I've been impressed with Ciskhan. Just imagine if Ciskhan would have actually capitalized against Vinch. And now, with how he's playing right now, the whole outlook for his chances will look so different. I know he was frustrated after those games. But certainly he's been able to rebound here. I do think he needs to deal with this conk. This Conquistadors killed the villager and delayed the university. But he's building up. He wants to hop out and go for a big play here. Lucho should know now. The first time, Lucho was surprised by it. Now Lucho needs to pay attention. And Lucho's definitely paying attention to it. Second town center back here for Lucho. Here the scouts are engaging. There is another town center for Ciskhan. But all eyes on the micro right now. They're tied with how many wins they have this season. The loser of this series, very unlikely they ever survive. The winner of the series has a chance. And even then, the chance is maybe a bit slim. But Lucho continues the push, and Lucho will take down the town center. Ciskhan crumbling a little bit. Lucho just came back with more. And let's not forget how important this map position is long term. Lucho will take more stone and gold with that town center there. Now I'm wondering what he does, though. Now you don't know where to push. Kind of tough to push this direction. I think he saw this. Oh, he saw the town center, though. So he'll actually just go over here. That's a very nice find. Yeah, that's exactly where he's going. But Ciskhan knows. The Ciskhan will have ballistics for the rats and archers. Ciskhan got a relic. And Ciskhan's Ratan's on the way. And it's tough to siege push this position when your siege workshop is way over here. Love the outpost from Lucho as well. Just so there's no surprises there. Yeah, but the Ratans looking pretty good right now. And then Conks are still Conks. No upgrades on the Conquistadors, and they can still compete. The difference, though, is they can't get ballistics. And so Lucho essentially has to out-micro ballistics all the time. But he's doing it, guys. Like, and the thing about the Ratans as well is they also only get 6 range. So at least with crossbows, you would have 7. You'd slightly outrange the Conquistadors, but that's just not the case here. Vietnamese monk upgrades are not the best. You could maybe consider some monks here to get conversions. Not in love with it, though, because you don't get redemption. And what a find from Lucho. And what an economy as well. This is how I described him. If he has army control, what he does with his farming eco on land maps is some of the best in the world. I think he still struggles on hybrid maps. Typically, I would say he struggles on maps with lots of walls like this, but he picked this. So clearly he would disagree with that. Vil counts even, and these Ratan archers are just struggling to get any value now. Lucho's locked in. I think I would almost prefer longbows over the Ratans here, just because you have the range. Or like, what's the range of a plume? Are plumes 4+3 range instead of 4+2? Or I guess it'd be 5+2. I forget. Just that one range difference feels very obvious now. It's a shame we don't see Britons picked more frequently just for other reasons, but... What Ratans are supposed to be is one of the best range units against other range units because of their tankiness and their pierce armor. But the Conks do so much damage that tankiness of the Ratan doesn't feel very evident right now. But who knows? Game is still super close. Micro from Ciskhan has been good all series. Of course, I say that and he immediately loses his Ratan archers there. But damn. The Ratans go for the Mangonels. The Mangonels trade, and still Ciskhan's still holding. All the Ratan archer and Conquistadors are flooding this way. I think Lucho can't engage until he has another Mangonel, but this farming eco is unreal, dude. Unreal. 39 farms. How do you micro... How do you play forward castle and end up with an economy like that? Obviously, Ciskhan isn't spending food, though. And since he's not spending food, he can have a better imp time. And he gets a kill and he gets a conversion there. And he's holding, and maybe he'll be an imp faster. And Ciskhan will click up to imp. My goodness. This is anyone's game. What a game. Really close set. Look at res collected right now. It's different in what resources they brought in. But look at the total resources. It's going back and forth right now. The KD's 25-17. That's pretty close. Lucho's ahead in the kill-death ratio, but Ciskhan is ahead with the relics collected. And Lucho will go imp as well now. Something that is a big deal is the castle for Lucho is on the downhill. So it'll take more damage from when the trebs come out from Ciskhan. I think the Conquistador spotted that monk bringing in the relic right there. That'll be relic number 3 for Ciskhan. Town center count's about to be 4 against 2. So when you're imping on 2 TCs, you fall way behind in villagers. That 1 TC doesn't produce vills. And then you have 1 TC producing. I guess it would be against 3 for the next like 2 to 3 minutes. I kind of feel like Lucho should make a switch out of Conquistadors. I think they've served him well. But with this economy, I wouldn't mind seeing him switch into some stables and going into trying to play Cavalier here. Feel like Cavalier, you can have 1 or 2 units out in open spaces raiding, 1 or 2 units over here raiding. And also the Rats and Archers just scale really nicely and get stronger against the Conks the longer the game goes on. So I think he'll probably come to that conclusion if his castle starts to go down. But it's definitely something to consider right now. And Monk will end up getting sniped there. Every relic has been picked up 3-3. Wow. They were well prepped. Relics are in these corners, too. So it's not like they were in the middle of the map. First thing Ciskhan will do with Imp is Trebs. He'll immediately target that castle. He needs Bracer, which he hasn't clicked yet. So he's fighting before he gets his upgrades. So then he'll have the range advantage over the Conquistadors. Lucho's getting Conquistador upgrades he hasn't had in a while, though. So he's getting the second armor. A lot of the engagements he didn't have Bloodlines or Husbandry. And now Archer ranges for Lucho. So I'm guessing the plan there is probably Skirms. And Skirms with this economy should be insane. I think maybe you shift your focus. It's all about just holding this area now. Build another castle on the hill and just hope to deny the map control. Ciskhan can't really tech switch, nor is he planning to, because Rattan Archers is one of the few units in AoE that if you get full upgrades on with good numbers, you could just destroy everything. Like, you can also kill what's supposed to be the counter, like Skirms. Rattan Archers are that good. But where he places the second castle is kind of important, because I'm looking around at his gold situation. There's not a lot here. There's that tile, which is 300. There's these 2 forward tiles. And then that's it. So basically 2,000 gold remaining. So he knows he's on the clock. Here he comes now. He'll drop a castle this direction, but he has no clue what he's running into. But it's probably a risk you have to take. Lucho's got outposts everywhere. So Lucho can see this. And I don't know about this castle, Ciskhan. I don't know, man. Are the Rattans that good? He feels he has to because he's 30 vils behind. But see how the micro is now. Not in love with that castle. The split micro from Ciskhan is good to take the mangonels. But it's not even that good. And the Conquistadors are denying the castle. That is ambitious for Ciskhan. But again, I think he knows his situation. He knows he's far behind. And he knows he needs something extreme. But I would have liked more patience. You still had enough gold. You could maybe place this castle defensively for more Rattan production. He just doesn't know that Lucho is completely prepared. Double castle from Lucho. Bombard cannons are already targeting the castle. And even if the castle completes, it's just not going to stay up here. Well, where can Ciskhan even go? He can't really raid. Not easily anyways. There's still stone walls there. He doesn't have stone anymore. So he'd have to sink more stone into repairing this castle. He'll try and go for his own skirmishers now, but I don't know, man. I just think this has been a beautiful game from Lucho economically. The kills are something else, but I feel like the Conquistadors are always going to get good damage. The fact that he microed the way he did and still added this much economy is just insane skill. I think the skirmishers are always going to be good enough here. If the Rattan Archers are an elite and they're not fully upgraded, they'll be more than fine. And, yeah, Lucho's Trebs on the hill and Bombard cannons from the hill will take the castle down. Ciskhan just fell too far behind economically. Normally, the player who's spending food and gold on conks will fall behind in Vils, and they will be later to imp. But in this game, Ciskhan gained a 40 villager lead, and he matched the Imperial Age time. I can't say enough about this bounce back game from Lucho. Ciskhan's now in just, well, let's send it mode, but I think it's over. There's no positives here. Attack rounds coming from the Bombard cannons. Trebuchets are down. Skirmishers are out. Map control's ridiculous for Lucho on the stone and gold. It'll go for the paladin switch behind. I mean, you gotta try. You do have the better skirm civ. Ciskhan does still have access to every resource for now. But just super patient play from Lucho. And he's just gonna go full paladin switch now. Could also, if he thinks there's any worry, he could also just spam Cavalier. You don't actually need Paladin, but I think he's just going to be inclined to chill out a little bit. He'll buy some food, he'll click the Paladin upgrade, and yeah, now he'll start to mass the units. It's perfect. Guys, look at the amount of vision he has, too. And having all the vision over here, having all the vision around the north. I would have never expected someone like Lucho to play Zimbabwe as a home map. But maybe because Ciskhan's so similar to him in style, and Ciskhan also is a player who likes to play standard maps, he looked at this and felt like he could be the superior close map player. I thought that castle position was key this game. Like, it just... Eventually, Ciskhan just runs out of res. Ciskhan spends the whole game just stabilizing. And, oof! Man, alright, he's landing some big shots. But, yeah, now Ciskhan is just holding on to what little gold he has left. How many kills do the Paladins actually get? Just, let's try and guess. Obviously, right now, the Bombard Cannons and the Imp Skirms are owning. They're doing good things. But, like... this is scary enough where Ciskhan might just... like, when he sees Paladin running in, there's a chance he just calls it. But every game matters for so much. We typically want to see a bit of fight, but... I mean, Paladin storming the front of your base right now is pretty brutal. Okay, Paladin's in. He just completes the Pike upgrade. He's selling everything he can to go for Halb. And, well, he doesn't call it. I'm with you, chat. I think everyone who said 0, I think in this situation, I also would have considered tapping out. But nah, they'll get a couple kills. They'll be fully upgraded in 30 seconds. They'll dive, they'll massacre, and now the GG's called. Well played from Lucho, 1-1. The answer is 12 kills for anyone who was wondering. 12 kills, and that was it. But yeah, I think Lucho knew at that stage. He knew 2 minutes ago. Paladins, just in case your opponent gets enough army to push it back, you don't want to take the risk. But yeah, well played. So remember when MBL earlier today, Castle dropped here? Realistically, I think like, well, that came down to, it was a different style game. It was the timing of the castle. But realistically, most of the successful castles on this map are just boxing out the stone and gold. Like, people completely forget about that because everyone gets super focused on this area because that's the early game stuff. But most of the stone and gold in that hill is critical. So I think where it went wrong for Ciskhan was, I think maybe this town center getting pressured was brutal, or even losing his first town center. I think he needed to keep all of his town centers alive to still have the eco lead. But even still, though, I just think that's just Lucho being a beast. It's not normal to be able to add that much economy behind the Conquistador play. Typically, when people go for the forward castles, their economy is just trash. All right. I didn't realize, so they added the updated graphics in the new patch. I didn't know that our new maps were going to have the new Javelina skin. What do we think? Scale of 1 to 10. How edible is that looking? Wait, it's only 300 food. Is that normal? Look at him. Look at him. He's freaking out. It doesn't look very edible to me. I don't know if I'd want to eat that. At least I wouldn't want to eat it raw underneath the town center like they eat it. But, yeah, it's 300 food, which is a little bit less than the standard boar. Which I guess is a factor here, but there's plenty of other ways to get food on the map. We got Mongols for Ciskhan, but Ciskhan is going for the insta-mill. Okay, so this is where this is a bit odd, right? So Mongols have the fastest hunt in the game. So typically, you're going to take the deer, you're going to take the pigs, you're going to take all the hunt, and then you're going to move on to other food sources. But villagers on shorefish is just as fast, if not slightly faster than Mongol hunt. So the early mill is still not bad. It's still very quick, but it's just not your typical order. But Lucho's gone for Japanese, and Lucho is going for the early lumber camp. He's also pushing in the deer, and Japanese have the really cheap mills. So this map is dominated by the Japanese. Because over time, you won't want farming, you'll want this food. We've also seen a lot of infantry. So seeing a lot of infantry, Japanese are very good with the faster attacking infantry. Oftentimes it's man-at-arms, it's archers, and it's adapt from there. The last time I saw Mongols, though, the Mongol player went fast castle and tried to play into steppe lancers, which almost worked. Just not a very Ciskhan thing to do. Again, it's Is that worth it? There's a lot of decay on that javelina there. Like, one villager on the hunt, you're losing a lot of that food. I think I would have preferred he reverse the order. I'd prefer he take his hunt and then just leave the fish for later. But he is taking straggler trees to get the wood for the lumber camp timing. I at least appreciate the fact that Ciskhan is trying something new. He went forward, and he's also taking the turkey right now. And, ooh, villagers there. Villager getting attacked. And Ciskhan will be fine. T90, they were already javelina, but those old ones have 340 food. Now these have 300 food. We might need to adapt that. Yeah, so I guess it was the devs changing the javelina to 300 food that changed our script, right? I mean, I think it's fine, our base. It's something we can talk about. But there's so much food on the map. It's not like there's a shortage of food because you lose out on 80 food. So I think it's fine. I just noticed it. Yeah, there's the mill for Lucho. It's been a really fun day, guys. Great games. I think the drama in this group is going to be a little bit tighter near the mid or top of the group if Lucho gets the win. Because Lucho has 2 wins right now in total, and Ciskhan has 1. But also at the same time, it'd kind of be cool to see Ciskhan and Lucho be tied, you know? I think chances are... Basically, they need 2 upsets. They need to probably win their final 2 sets almost regardless, so... Wow, what a build. Ciskhan is up. He's on the way to feudal. I guess this is really fast archers from him. He's probably expecting the man-at-arms, so the barracks is there for Lucho. Lucho will aim to click up as well. But yeah, the archers come out quickly for Ciskhan. Maybe it shuts down the man-at-arms. Pathing can always be a bit awkward through these wood lines. Lucho would have to run the whole way around to the left now, or he'd have to run the whole way around to the right. And scouts are engaging. I think Ciskhan knows he'll be to feudal age faster, but he's also expecting the militia to be there, so he's being careful. SHN says highly unlikely. Definitely these two will get relegated in their group. It was also highly unlikely that Leicester City won the Premier League. It was also highly unlikely that USA won the gold medal match in 1980 in Olympic hockey. All right? Stop being a hater. Stop looking at the stats. I know the stats are beautiful. The website's also super stable and has a lot of other cool features. But stop being a hater. All right? Anything's possible. What did it say? 0.4% for running to get first place or something the other day? Easy. Easy. Have some belief, shall we? But no, I'm inclined to agree. Yeah, the little tower here for Ciskhan because he knows he needs something before the archers arrive. He's expecting the militia. This is a good call. I like that. I think the man-at-arms could still just attack the tower foundation here. It's a very weird thing to defend. But usually players are just running away. The Lucho looking for damage elsewhere after seeing the tower. He's actually pushing the deer closer to the town center. Take the deer. Take the deer. Take the deer. The deer's right there. Yeah, man-at-arms are already posing a threat. So I could see what Ciskhan was trying to do here. But the reality is he's reacting an awful lot. And he still didn't take a lot of his hunt with the Mongols, so... I like that there from Lucho as well, just killing off that deer. But so far, so good for Ciskhan to defend. He'll get the deer. He has the shorefish protected. Lucho will probably play into skirms because he's got the food income for that. And he knows it's archers, right? Best color in chat says, hey T90, when you come to London, don't be too proud to be a Man United fan. That won't go down well in London. Really? I thought I could wear like Man United socks and Man United jacket and Man United hat. And I could walk around the streets singing Glory, Glory, Man United. Is that not acceptable? Wow, I thought people were much nicer there. I was just going to be touring like, you know, Liverpool and Leeds stadiums doing that. That's all. I guess Liverpool's not in London, but, you know. Chelsea and Tottenham. Well, don't worry. I wasn't planning on doing that. Also, it's not really a great time to be proud to be a United fan. We don't have a lot to be proud of right now, except our history. So, but you know, recently it's been better. But I know better than to get too excited because basically all the sports teams that I support get my hopes up and then crush my dreams. But you know what we say to that? At least we're not Tottenham fans. Woo, that's something we can all agree on. Towers up. Villagers are protected here. Archers are moving forward for Ciskhan. But the vills won't be protected forever. So the tower will only last for so long. Very confident from Lucho to just not tower. He really seems to feel like these counter archers are not going to do anything to him. And guys, he's got shorefish all over, or villagers all over the shorefish, rather. A lot of times when casting this, I just double check. How many vills are on the shorefish? Does that guy have more? Okay, then that guy's going to reach Castle Age faster. It is really that simple. But we've got 6 over here, about to be 7. On this side, we've had 12 this whole time. And Ciskhan's counterattack won't do anything because Lucho tracked it. So I think like Ciskhan's opening was purely to defend from the man-at-arms, but it's come at a cost. He's playing defensive on this map is pretty brutal, and it's just not looking too good for him. And Lucho just, after losing the first game, has just found another level here. And you're seeing the confidence. I think the issue for him in the first game was they didn't play a very similar style. I think if Lucho can get into a game and his opponent's basically doing the same build as him, with how good he is with the execution, he can normally just out-execute it. He's on the way up to Castle Age. Meanwhile, the opponent has 300 food. Great job from Lucho. Ciskhan also still doesn't have many bonuses that work well here. The hunt bonus for Mongols, and then that's it. The hunt's kind of gone at this point. Double range for Lucho. He'll make a couple skirms at home. Lots of skirmishers for Ciskhan at the moment. Yeah, I don't really know. I think closer to my trip, I might ask people about things to do in London and things I should try, but I don't really know. I know that was a joke, but I appreciate any tips on things to do or things not to do when we get closer to time. Scouts would be a good option in this situation if either player didn't have the archers. I think it's really tough to justify scouts right now. Both players are just playing really heavy into the range units. This micro is pretty good for Lucho. That army's not an army he needs anymore. It's also not a time he needs to take an engagement, though. So that was maybe a bit wasteful. I don't think he realized how far ahead he is to Castle Age. I guess it's just not close. Ciskhan still hasn't clicked up. Ciskhan needs to kill this army now. If Ciskhan can kill the army, that gives himself a lot of time. He still has the defensive army. The micros looks good. Lucho's up. And Ciskhan's probably like, what? Like, I took 0 eco damage. I'm Mongols. How on earth am I that late to Castle Age? Nice fight, though. At least kills off some of the archers there. And at least he is harassing a little bit. Also, it could be worse. It's not like his opponent is going to have an army full of crossbow. If his opponent had crossbow, he'd be dead. If his opponent just has a couple skirms, not necessarily. And trades off some of these skirmishers here. Scout runs around. But yeah, elite skirms in. This is where you'd need a tower, or you'd need to relocate. This is where you'd need a tower, or you'd need to relocate. If it was 30 seconds, it's still kind of awkward, but it's doable. It's still 90 seconds until he's in Castle Age. Oh, archers will sneak, though. He needs something, because otherwise, Lucho's just going to kill you with skirmishers. Not bad. Nice quick walls, though, from Lucho there. Damn. And Lucho quick walls. He loses a Vil. Should be able to use the skirmishers to clear this, though, in a second. Starting scout is an absolute god for Ciskhan. That starting scout has showed up so many times. The scout has dealt 70 damage. And kills the skirmisher as well. Oh, well played. Again, he needs that right now. He needs that. And actually, Lucho's so distracted. Lucho, oh my god, he runs right into that army. And the scout gets away. And the scout got assists on multiple kills. The archers got 3 villager kills. And Ciskhan now holds the castle age. Wow. This felt inevitable to me. That he was going to snowball the lead. They're just both playing skirmishers. One player has ballistics. One player was in castle age faster. But now Ciskhan can get his own skirm upgrades. He took a risk going out here. But there's never been any pressure on the side. Will need ballistics himself. But skirm count's kind of worrying for Lucho. Also, that score that the scout's going to give you from scouting the map is so nice. It doesn't matter how you get it. You're never going to complain about a score lead in AoE. Even if the other guy knows that it's because of the scouting, they're still not ahead in score. They're still not feeling as good as you are. And more villagers are being found. And the micro from Ciskhan is looking good. He doesn't have ballistics, and his opponent does, and he knows it. That's why he's microing that way. Lucho will come this way to hit the wood line, which has already been relocated, and will run into skirms as Ciskhan runs away. I do think Ciskhan probably needs ballistics. I do think that this is still going to be a long-term issue for him, but he will drop the second town center. Now, Cav archers can outmaneuver the skirmishers, and that's why I think ballistics is a big deal. Lucho can easily outrun the skirms. More micro from Ciskhan to keep the villager alive. More skirmishers on the run. 58 population against 52. All right, chat. Someone do me a favor, please. If you can go to the probability sheet. Fill out the current results. But then input the Lucho winning this game. And Ciskhan winning this game. And give me the survival chances swing for Lucho. Because coming into this, I felt like if Lucho won, because he already had one more win, that would actually give him legitimate chances. And especially if he can get some wins against Yo, who, I don't know, for whatever reason, ever since I've seen that matchup, I feel like Yo might actually struggle. Because Lucho's meta style could give Yo some problems. I just would love to know the swing, basically, for Lucho. Like, if he loses, his percent chance of getting relegated. If he wins, his percent chance of getting relegated. Remember, he's already played Hart. He's already played Hera. I think Ciskhan still has to play Hera yet, right? So, I feel like no matter what the data says there, even with the Ciskhan win, it's still going to be kind of tough. It says both will be relegated. No, give me the numbers. Give me the percentages. It does not say 100%. Okay. If Lucho loses this, 81% chance he gets relegated. If Lucho wins this, 59%. That is a big difference. That is a massive difference in one game. Lucho needs this right now. I thought he had it initially, but Ciskhan is holding on, and now Lucho has to claw his way back, but he does have more military. Even though he loses the Cav archers, he is over here protecting the shorefish. He's still expanding this way with the shorefish. And he'll come this way with skirmishers and scorpion as well. Ballistics is in for Ciskhan. He has the villager lead. But Vills on shorefish is definitely more efficient than farms. He's switching out of that now. It's this weird thing where eventually the farms become important. You can't skip them forever, so. Nice sneak army here from Ciskhan. I don't know if he was looking for this army or what. But I think it will end up being very good for him if he loops into the back of Lucho's base. Lucho might never expect that. You just hit this level in AoE 2 where the micro is just a standoff. And no one actually goes for the fight, and no one actually goes for the kill. And that's what this is right now. Lucho's like, he respects Ciskhan's micro so much, even there, seeing the rocks flying in through the darkness, that he's just taking the small win, which is going for the archery range. And even going for the blacksmith. Lucho, good split micro. He has an army over here now. And he could disrupt the golds. At the same time, the micro's here. Good micro from Ciskhan. Ciskhan takes the mangonel. Lucho has to go for the repairville. Gets it, but has to back off. While he's also getting hit back here. But I think Ciskhan's distracted. Ciskhan landing the shot here. What a close game. He's lost 2 vills. These skirmishers are now moving, and that should be a couple vills down for Lucho. Micro's still happening here. I don't know. It could go either way. Ooh, but it goes Lucho's way there. If Lucho sees this, he needs the mangonels to go home, or he needs skirmishers to go home for that. He's got good control over the shorefish, though. 51 seconds of TC idle time for Lucho. Still needs villagers on the shorefish. He's still expanding this way, so he can never lose these fights. It's always nice, though, when you take down a building that someone's going to need way later in the game. That's going to pay off at a time that will end up being really important. If this game goes in, Ciskhan will never remember he needed that blacksmith. Or that he lost the blacksmith, rather. Even now, like, getting the extra armor on the skirmishers wouldn't be too bad. I think giving up the hill could be kind of questionable for Lucho. You're now fighting uphill against siege, which is never what you want. You do want to take the town center, but now you're getting pushed down off the hill and you can't really get back to it. Micro from Ciskhan? Dude, their mangonel micro is so good. But this should be fine for Lucho. Lucho backs away. He lands a shot, but he needs to back away because he'll lose his mango. Mangonel's pretty weak. Skirmishers back here have been cleared. 15 villager lead for Ciskhan. But he just does not have the military. So, I find this very comparable to the first game, where Ciskhan kind of plays low numbers and plays town centers, and then Lucho goes for full army. I think maybe the cav archers are good enough for Lucho to start taking these fights against some of these skirms. But we're about to have a castle for Ciskhan. He decides to place a castle down here. Oof. Well, I mean, that'll either look really good or really bad. If he can quick wall it, he can maybe trap the cav archers. But, yeah, lose some vills. It's very costly. And he's also getting raided on this side by the skirmishers. I don't know if he can pay attention to that. There's also the siege micro on the front here. Lucho's just everywhere. Lucho will run into the TC, though, and back away. These skirms will get hit. The mangonels are still microing on the front. The Lucho's cav archers may or may not be able to get away. This is insane. Very close game. Still one town center from Lucho. His cav archers are leaving in the south. The skirms are moving this way. And we see guard tower for Lucho. I like that because right now, if the siege or any army ever moves this way, your shorefish is disrupted. One guard tower there, and it's not. And I love the push in towards the main town center from Ciskhan. This is actually where I think Ciskhan needed to drop his castle. I think if he would have at the same time decided to build this castle there, this push from Lucho can't do anything. And Lucho would have to go back the direction he was already struggling to push. But Mangadai are a pretty damn good unit here. And if he could start to mass up the Mangadai, safe castle's not a bad thing. Mangonel's getting traded. I think Lucho needs a second TC at some point. I respect the full army, but if he could just manage 2 TCs with all this army, I think he wins the game. But the fact that it's been 1 versus 3 has been the big difference. He'll drop a guard tower, though. He's still massing the CA. Ciskhan doesn't have the siege here. The siege is still coming from the back of his base. He does have another mangonel over here. Lucho is locked into the micro, but he'll never expect the mangonel from that direction. That's a really weird direction, and it works out. So little misdirect there from Ciskhan. Lucho will get the kill, though, and Lucho's guard tower completes. And so the mangonels will stay there, and they can still pressure this town center. More guard towers coming up as well. This town center's a goner for Ciskhan. Again, it is still full-on 1 town center for Lucho. Here go Mangadai. Mangadai will try and get into the shorefish. They can, if they just walk around that tower. Oh, but the cav archers have now run through as well. And if Lucho ever goes this direction, he'll find so many villagers on wood. What a game. This is so intense. This is such a nice find for Ciskhan. I think had he gone towards the tower, he might have never thought he could go that way. Lucho thinks he's safe. Dude, there's so many villagers back here. A new blacksmith for Ciskhan, by the way. But yeah, Ciskhan's feasting. 4 Mangudai will wreck. All the Cav Archers have to chase. Give Ciskhan some time to breathe. The Cav Archers have to come back now. This is going to be a 1 town center Imperial Age from Lucho. He can't produce any vills now because it's his only TC. But with Imp and Bracer, it could make a massive difference in the fights. He does still have a massive army. And then Ciskhan is nowhere near Imp. This is kind of rare, where the player who's 3 TCs is this far behind to Imp. Typically, they're like 500 food, 300 food. They have to use the market. But, like, this is just not realistic for Ciskhan at all. So annoying, though, for Lucho that this army is still alive. He will drop the town center in the back. But he needed to kill that, guys. Oh, no, this could be really bad for Lucho. He's still guard tower pushing this way. He's still making progress this way. Oh, no, and the Mangonel's not enough. The Mangonel's not enough. The Mangonel will just go down instantly to Mangudai. And you can't come back home now. I guess you have a skirm. I guess you'll complete the town center, but that's pretty brutal. Still good traits for Lucho on the front, though. He could still complete the tower, and he still has the Cav Archers. And with Bracer, I don't know where these vills are going, but with Bracer, Bracer makes a difference. Bracer, suddenly he can win every fight. But it just, the eco's so weak. And a castle! Can he even build a castle up here? It's really tough to build. No, you can't build it at the top. He'll build it there. But guys, like, he needs the upgrades first. He needs the upgrades first. I think he needs to just back up and chill for a second. And Lucho calls the GG before he even hits him. Ciskhan does it. Wow, what a hold, man. What a hold. And Lucho, I think, realized that the castle needed to go up and he needed trebuchets and that he was going to lose this entire army. Let's look back at his resources. When someone resigns, which he did, everything gets refunded. So at this point in time, this is before the resign. He has 0 on food. He has 5 on gold. He has 18 on wood. He has 5 on stone. If he were to even want Bracer, he would probably have to sell every single bit of wood he has, buy food, and then he still might not have the gold. I think he ends up losing a lot of these CA. I think there's no way this castle ever completes. I know Chad wants to see the game go on a little bit longer there. He'll also lose his Mangonels. And basically, without the forward castle, without the trebs, you're just kind of dead here. It's a shame for Lucho because I think if he ends up adding the second TC in this game, I think he ends up doing very well. Would you agree, Chad? Now, he doesn't have as much army focus, maybe. The micro isn't as good. There's all these things that change. But I think if he has a similar approach with 2 town centers, I think he can win this game. But it was just like 1 TC against 4, where you just fall too far behind and then you kind of make some mistakes. Ciskhan showed in game number 1 and game number 2 that in these messy high micro games with the range units, that he's maybe the better micro player. The better macro player. Way more food collected, way more wood collected. KD was also pretty good as well. Impressive display from Ciskhan.